All right, good afternoon. It is 4:18. This is the Georgia Weather Net live severe weather coverage, an active tornado warning once again, and this is going to be more in middle Georgia. We have a tornado warning for Lawrence County, southeastern Lawrence County until 4:45. Doppler radar indicating a thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado over Cadwell, about 7 miles northeast of Eastman, moving east at 30 miles per hour. Possibility of golf ball size hail, in addition to the potential for a tornado with this storm. So, Cadwell, you are right there at the storm right now. I see a new sweep of radar. We're going to look into the storm here in just a second. Rents, Lowry also in line with this storm. Let me zoom out to give you the big picture across the state of where we're looking at here. So this is going to be really southern middle Georgia, just south of I-16. A lot of people call I-16 the marker between middle and South Georgia. So we're right there at I-16. Of course, that goes right through the middle of Lawrence County. Dublin is in central Lawrence County, not in the warning polygon. This is going to be south of I-16 for the tornado warning polygon. And if this storm holds together, we'll continue moving east toward Trutland County. But as for right now, just Lawrence County in the warning polygon. A very, very strong reflectivity coming back from this one. That's why we have that strong indication of large hail, again, up to golf ball size hail with this storm. And let me just flip over to our severe storm or our probability of severe hail. There it is. Look at that big hail core right now, just east of Dexter, heading toward 441, 319. And that is more than likely dropping some very significant hail. We've had numerous hail reports throughout the day on a lot of these storms. But then the hook that we've been watching, the hook that we've been watching develop is also a major concern. And that's here in the southern part of the storm. Again, just moving over Cadwell, and this is moving to the east. Let's take a look at our velocity right quick and see if we can see that pretty broad rotation, but it is in there. And just looking again here at this sort of pendulum shape, you can see just to the east of Cadwell, you've got that dropping down, and that's some oftentimes where you can get an indication that a tornado could form. But look at that strong reflectivity up further up Highway 117 up toward the 441 intersection there this is certainly some very large hail being lofted in this storm. And if this is reaching the ground, which I'm sure a lot of it is, this is going to be very, very large hailstones. We'll zoom out and show you another kind of factor that we're looking at with these storms. You can see there are sort of 4 cells, really 5. Another one's got a severe thunderstorm warning. Looks like down around Randolph and Terrell County. So really 5 cells here, and maybe we can count a 5th up starting to head into Bibb County right now. And when they get spaced out like this, they're not competing with one another to get that energy. They all kind of have their own source of energy, and that's where we can get some spin, and we can get these storms to continue to develop. So we don't really like to see this. This is a multi-cellular storm complex. This is not part of a squall line, and obviously these aren't just typical pop-up summertime type thunderstorms. These are the big ones that can really cause some problems. And this storm out to the west here, as we kind of zoom in a little bit closer down to the southeast of Perry, starting to head in toward Hawkinsville. This is another storm that looks like it's starting to pick up that shape where it could get a little bit of spin. Let's take a look at the velocity on that. Just a heads up for Hawkinsville. We have no warnings on this storm. Yeah, we're showing some weak rotation, but some rotation starting to develop here on this system. So just a heads up in Hawkinsville. You just want to be ready for this storm as it's moving in a little bit closer and starting to show a little bit more of that defined supercell pattern. We even have what's called a V notch on this. This is a great example of that. Let me zoom in back on this cell one more time, then we'll go back to our tornado warn storm. But you can see there's sort of a sideways V shape. Here's the center of the let me get the zoom box in again on this. So right in here is your center of the V. So that's an indicator of very, very strong winds moving into this storm. And then it kind of gets split there in the middle. So we get what's called a V notch. So this is a very well-defined supercell storm. And those are the ones that if get going just right, could produce a tornado. So let's get back to our tornado orange storm. This is the only one we have on the board. We have 3 severe thunderstorm warnings, but we're concentrating on our storm here moving out of Cadwell, heading toward 441 in southern Laurens County. Again, this is south of I-16, Dublin. You have nothing to worry about. The rain just finished up in Dublin. You picked up a good breeze there as well. Breeze, putting it lightly. It was very windy with this storm moving through, but the main concern is going to be in that southern edge, and not really seeing that defined inflow notch anymore. So we could be, here's a new sweep. So let's take a look at the velocity and see what we have. Going just a little bit closer here, right over 441, 319. And yeah, some rotation, but this is broadening out quite a bit. So I think our immediate concern for a tornado is not as great as when the warning was issued just a few moments ago. But we're going to stay right here with you until this is either canceled or it expires at 4:45. The overlying severe thunderstorm warning will likely not expire, but that will be allowed to continue on as this storm is a strong one, and hail is going to be the main concern here. Again, ping pong ball size hail, very possible with this storm. You see a massive hail core now moving over 441 as it continues to track toward the east, heading toward State Highway 19. So still heavy rain, probably not a hail threat in Rents, but that hail threat is to the east of Rents toward 441, 319, and all south of I-16. And we may get a little bit of hail activity on I-16 here briefly as this storm continues to move toward the east, but spreading out a bit toward the north with that inflow coming in. All right, so we'll take just kind of a look around the state and get you up to date what's going on. We'll wait for another sweep of radar to see what's going on in Laurens County, but we'll just kind of go county by county here. We have a severe thunderstorm warning for portions of Randolph and Terrell County. This is in effect until 5 p.m. Nothing, no major rotation on that. We were watching this storm down in southwest Georgia. So this is going to be covering portions of Decatur, Grady, Mitchell, and Thomas County. This goes until 4:45. And we did show some rotation on this one a little bit earlier. Let me see if we can take a look at the velocity. We're looking pretty good distance away from our radar site. So a little bit muddy, but not showing anything there of great concern. We'll continue to watch that one since we did have a little rotation on it before. And then we head down toward the coastline, and we have a severe thunderstorm warning. This is for portions of Glenn County and then stretching back to the west into Camden, Brantley, and up into Charlton, or down into Charlton County as well. So that's in effect until 4:45. So this storm heading toward Interstate 95. Going to be moving in toward Brunswick. Brunswick not in the warning polygon. Jekyll's not in there, nor Sea Island or St. Simon's, but takes you right up to 82 and 90 and I-95 for the warning polygon. So that may be extended a little bit on into Brunswick and Jekyll if this storm holds together, and probably no reason why it won't. So that's our visit around South Georgia and our warned storms. Really surprised that our storm heading toward Hawkinsville has not picked up a warning yet, as this one is continuing to show some pretty good development here. And yep, there we go. We just got one. All right. So I spoke it into existence, I guess. Severe thunderstorm warning is in effect for portions of Bleckley County. That's going to be the southwestern edge of Bleckley, central Pulaski County, and northwestern Dodge County until 5:15. Doppler radar indicating that severe thunderstorm around Browndale. That's moving in very close to Hawkinsville, moving east at 35 miles per hour. And this one, again, a big hail producer, possibility of ping pong ball size hail and 60-mile-an-hour wind gust. So Eastman, Hawkinsville, Empire, Roddy, Pulaski State Prison area, Bailey's Park, Hartford, Mobley Crossing, you're all in line of this thunderstorm. So just be prepared for hail. If you can get your car under some sort of structure, I know that can be difficult to do, and you don't want to be driving in this, so I'm not recommending you get in your car and go drive somewhere. But if you are downstream Hawkinsville or east of Hawkinsville and you can get your car covered up somehow, now would be the time to do it. Eastman, you're also in this warning polygon as well, and those wind gusts are going to be moving some light unsecured object around. Certainly 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts can do that. So there's your latest severe thunderstorm warning, and that does cover Hawkinsville and then all the way down into Eastman. So let's get back to our tornado warned storm. We've got a lot going on here, but our main focus is going to be any tornado warning that we have. We have a new sweep. Let's see what we have. Very broad rotation. This is not anything to be alarmed about, but just be prepared for and go ahead and be in that tornado safe place east of 441 in southern Lawrence County. Rents, you're going to be fine. Gadwell, it formed over your area, but it is out of there now. It's continuing to track toward the east. Let me put this in motion for you. You can see that movement from west to east. And wow. Let me just show you kind of what the forecasters are looking at, what the Weather Service saw, and I saw it here as well watching this storm. Let me pause right. Let me back up a couple of frames and show you what really sets off the alarms. You see something like this? Look at this. That looks like a tornado. And there was some rotation there, no indication of any debris, but that little area right there, we have that little pendulum that hangs down. You have the inflow notch coming in. You know the storm is well fed because you have all of that moisture and hail upstream. That's what you look at. So let me just back this up a little bit. I'll put the radar back in motion again. This was our snapshot from 4:14, so about 16 minutes ago. That's what it looked like, and this had everybody taking notice of it, so that's why the tornado warning was issued. So let me put this back in motion again, and this looks like a tornado. I don't think it is, but look at this thing moving from west to east. I mean, that's what a tornado looks like on radar, but I don't think that's going to be the case. And as a matter of fact, looks like our tornado warning has been canceled. So the rotation has broadened out, weakened a great bit. So that's going to go away. But still, this is a doozy of a storm with very, very high reflectivity. So when we see reflectivity that high, you see those dark colors there, the black, and then starting to head into sort of the grays. That's an indicator of hail. We're getting strong reflectivity bouncing back. And I'll tell you what, if you have a minute, let's just look at some of the upper levels. Sometimes when you get a strong hail core like this, you can get a feature on radar, and that's called a hail spike. And we may or may not see it. If we're going to see it, it's going to be on the west side of the storm. And it could be in any one of the levels here. And let me just see if we have one. So basically, it has to do with the radar beam hitting the hail, hitting the ground, coming back up, hitting the hail, and then back to the radar site. And you can get a spike out of that. It doesn't look like we have one on this one, but it doesn't happen every time, but it's kind of an interesting sight when it does happen. So, but certainly some very large hail associated with this storm as it continues to move toward Highway 19 in southern Lawrence County. And but the tornado warning has been dropped early. The severe thunderstorm warning, for good reason, remains in effect until 4:45. And so that's going to be moving toward Flat Creek and the Oconee River there in eastern Lawrence County as it continues to move toward Treutlen County. I think Treutlen will probably be seeing a severe thunderstorm warning issued here fairly shortly. So let's just zoom out and we'll take a look at everything else on the board for severe thunderstorm warnings. If you're just joining us and you'd like for us to visit all four of them, we can certainly do that. Again, eastern Lawrence County, we have our severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 4:45. We move out to the west a little bit here. We go to Bleckley, Dodge, Pulaski County. That storm now moving into Hawkinsville, continuing to move toward the east. Classic V-notch. We have a ton of wind entering this storm, and that's going to help keep it alive for a while. So very heavy rain now coming down in Hawkinsville. So that warning in effect until 5:15. Got a cell out to the west, kind of by itself a little bit here around Montezuma, Macon County, trying to get together, but not a warning on that one, but that's a good one. And then moving on down into southwest Georgia, getting into Randolph, Terrell County. This severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 5 p.m. And now we'll zoom out and go to coastal Georgia, where we have our warning for portions of Glenn County, as well as Brantley County, Camden, Charlton County, all until 4:45. So it's going to be the northern part of Camden County and the western edge of Glenn County. But that storm is moving into Glenn County right now, starting to head toward the Golden Isles Parkway, and that will be impacting Brunswick, Fletsey area, and then possibly up into St. Simon's Island. Looks like it may pass just to the north of Jekyll if it holds together, but that will be bringing some heavy rain, possible hail into Brunswick, Glencoe, Dock Junction, and that area there of coastal Georgia. So we're going to go ahead and break off our broadcast for now, and if we see any more of these storms start to spin up, go ahead and go back live again here on the Georgia Weather Net. So for the time being, like our page on Facebook and subscribe to the channel on YouTube to get these updates live round the clock from the Georgia Weather Net.